How's it going?
All right, yeah.
Good. I plan to just like stop at noon. Like by the time you get hungry, go for lunch. And I need to like prep for my afternoon session. I tried to, I tried to work as fast as I could to kind of like post before midnight. I just couldn't. It's just taking forever. I think like I was done by 12:30, 12. Sorry, 11:30. And then I go to hit export. It took like half an hour to export, and then it crashed.
Oh,
I opened the file, everything's unlinked.
so all your work is gone?
I was like horrified. I was like, oh my God, all the cuts were all just blank, unlinked. So then I'm like, okay, don't panic. It was 4 sources. Let's see if they designed the software smart enough to say, it's like, well, that's the source and that's the timestamp I took the slice from. So then I go and I get those 4 files, the long from OBS, and then I link it. Oh, thank God, it came exactly to the timeline.
Okay.
So then I was like, screw this shit. I'm not gonna like export again on this external hard drive. So then I duplicated the project, copied the files over locally onto the Mac, and then I just did everything locally. And then I said, okay, let's see if I can unlink the hard drive, the external hard drive. Sure enough, it's like, okay, find the files. I'm like, okay, link it to the new location, and all of a sudden it's like it linked. It's like, okay, good. Export. I exported. It took about a little bit faster actually because it's local. It doesn't have to go through the bus. And I got the final output.
Okay.
Do you want to see?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So the creation of the artifacts, we seem to be okay. We're satisfied. We saw that yesterday, and we're like, wow, okay, it looks awesome. That Claude could take that and create.
Just pause for a second. The overlay is really nice because it really makes it look like a docuseries when you see the date at the bottom with the time going, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it actually looks like a log,
Yeah.
even though it was intended for the okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's important. We log every day. Stuff. So I want to take a look at that. All right. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Whoa, Sam Altman, I love you.
No, you don't have to lie. Just act surprised. And that's the ending.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So that was an hour and 12 minutes final cut. He's just trying to figure out like what's funny, does this make sense, finding the right thing. But then it's like once you kind of like it's not sustainable. I can't do this for every video. And certainly this one had like funny moments. Okay, so then I didn't go to bed till like 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep till 4.
Oh shit.
Like I was like so wired. I wasn't tired at all. Like I could have just stayed up. I think it's the light maybe.
Turn off the blue light.
There's no blue light, but I'm like in the zone.
Okay.
And I really I'm like now I really enjoy like, okay, we have a vehicle for content. Because before it's like, what are you going to talk about? It's like, okay, well, why don't you just show us the tool?
Yeah.
So like Scanna is a great vehicle to create this content, which is desperately needed as well. So. Okay, we're live. All right, should we do headlines?
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. What's up?
So first headline is OpenAI is showing Kalshi's World Cup odds in ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, I read this. So they're gonna send live, but I don't think you're gonna be able to execute trades, but at least it will show you the live data.
So that's the thing. It's like right here they're saying regulators are facing increasing pressure to crack down on abuses in fast-growing and highly lucrative prediction markets. Correct bets on the timing of the U.S. military actions in Iran and Venezuela and company-related.
But it's just data. It's just data.
Yeah.
It's
OpenAI and Kalshi declined to comment.
okay.
And you can't place the
Yeah,
trades.
yeah,
Like
I
they'll place
understand.
the bets through it.
I mean, what are
So
they afraid of? People are asking questions. It's like, what? And now it's a swivel chair. I have to go there, and I can get the data. It's right there, right next to me.
yeah.
So, but if you put it inside, it's like, but now you can have more more in-depth questions, right? So that's actually a good positive sign. It's like we're seeing,
Yeah, I mean, at least
we already have it in Scanna, but
yeah.
now it's available in ChatGPT. Great, but then if you want to do analysis, it's at the mercy of what it has available.
Well, and maybe this is going to allow people to become problem aware, right? So that they understand now. It's like, okay, I have this capability inside of my agent, but every time I'm trying to get information on a market, I'm burning all these
Well, yeah,
tokens.
it goes back to your Scanna
So
video.
it's I think now what's happening is as this becomes more and more mainstream, more and more people start using it inside of their agents, they're going to start realizing the problems that we were talking about as like power users, right? It's going to become more mainstream.
Next one, yeah,
Uh,
prediction markets.
prediction markets
Yeah,
saw 50 billion in volume as World Cup kicked off.
it's unreal. It's unreal.
Okay,
Like
next.
basically, they're having their own FIFA moment. Like literally their own FIFA moment. Like the amount of liquidity. I mean, here World Cup, just today, 24 hours, 4 billion. This is just Spain versus England, right? Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. It makes the sports a little more interesting, but it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not the type of thing that I'm interested in. I'm looking to see look, is this who's telling the truth, who's telling a lie, right? That's mainly why we're interested.
Yeah. The
Not
term you
not
want to
like
use the term?
not like is my team gonna win or not? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Well, I mean, some people would say like, oh, well, if you can get the player's health data and you can get all this data, then you can actually get a closer like, if you have an AI scanning the match and looking at there's a whole bunch of different arguments for either case. But I feel like we want to focus on things that are more, like you said, epistemic rather than there is a bigger chance factor at play. Let's go here. Gibraltar launches first prediction market regime. Is this where we're going to incorporate?
they're more, yeah, they're more sort of like, okay, look, and don't fight it, like just regulate it, right? And then ensure that it doesn't go under. Otherwise, you're just gonna use a VPN. Like, what's it? Is it really that hard to kind of like bypass your geofence?
Yeah. I mean,
Call it
speaking of Kalshi,
Kalshi
that was
means
actually the
everything.
next thing I wanted to talk about here, which is this video where he's giving an interview.
Yeah, he's saying it's here to stay, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Market industry, I'd say there's sort of two factors that contribute to the growth. Outside of, there's spiky things that are happening with events, but our volume, if you look at it, is not really spiky. We are compounding 30, 40% month over month growth, like any sort of compounding company. And the two factors, I think, one is, there is this sort of general wave of people coming to prediction markets to check what's happening outside of trading. 80% of our users don't trade. They actually are looking at the data. And if you look at the top three apps on the App Store today, they're Fox, Telemundo, and then Kalshi. All three ways of engaging with the event or watching it, observing it, etc. And the second thing is it's a marketplace. Liquidity begets liquidity. It has the attributes of exponential growth. When you get more supply, you get more demand, which contributes to more supply, which contributes to more demand, and that sort of flywheel has been going on for a year and a half. Prediction markets are here to stay. Like there is no sort of way around that because people are speaking very loudly what they want to participate in, what they want to trade. And the reason our prediction markets are here to stay is I think there's this general feeling that traditional system, whether financial system, the news, a variety of other systems are not working for people. If you ask 90% of our traders that are really active on the product, if they trade options or they trade S&P or some of traditional assets, they say no because they feel like the game is rigged against them. And they're mostly right. There's no way for them to get an edge in a lot of these markets, but a lot of these people, some people now have a full-time job out of forecasting the inflation every month. Our best inflation forecaster is this random guy in Kansas. Blue-collar job, never really had a college degree, never traded financial markets. The dude just has a knack for, feeling the economy. And it's pretty amazing. There's a way for him to basically monetize that and have a full-time job out of that. And I think that sort of use case is too prevalent. It's just too prevalent, and the size has been so big. And what we've seen in the 2024 election is it's not a choice about whether we should have prediction markets or not. It's a choice about whether we should have them offshore and unregulated, like some of the stuff and all the recent reporting we've seen about Polymarket, or onshore regulated as an American company, which is sort of the model that we've taken. Our models really take something that has massive amount of demand that is proven and bring it into the regulated realm and add the right levels of sort of customer protections and guardrails to bring it into America. And when you bring that, when you actually do that, the volumes actually go one-to-one. So you take the volumes from offshore, you bring them onshore, and in a place where it's transparent, you can see it, you can observe it, you can learn from the data over time and make sure you have the right guardrails, which is what we're doing.
You talked about fairness and the idea that if someone is betting against the house with a sports book, the sports book is trying to defeat you, trying to take your money. You're not trying to do that. But Kalshi has acknowledged that most of the retail traders on the platform are losing money. So would you say to your sibling, you know what, I think that Kalshi is a good place to make money?
What does that mean, the point about losing money? I mean, this has always been like very interesting.
But he can't even hold that.
I find this sort of point funny, right? So what is the expectation? That 50-50 people win-lose? If that were the case, then let's just flip a coin and just decide the outcome. This is a game of scale. It's a highly competitive market.
Sophisticated.
People are competing. What percentage of hedge funds outperform the S&P every year? Is it 50-50? No, it's not. It's like 20%, 20 to 30. What percentage of teams win the NBA Finals every year? 1. So there's not many go. I mean, the point is, I've always found this point funny. It's a highly competitive, highly dynamic marketplace. It is hard. You have to do extensive amount of research to be good. There are people that spend copious amount of money, time, resources, energy. They hire people if they
Us. The amount of development.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the API. Like,
yeah, we're
themselves.
We've dedicated our entire sort of full time to a very fascinating ecosystem. You've got the intersection of AI.
That's on our side, right? On our side,
okay. You're using AI, agentic, machine to machine, X402 commerce, right? Latest research. Then you've got this massive amount of data, right? That you on-chain data.
Minus Kalshi, it's not on-chain, but yeah.
On-chain data, like the different we saw more and more markets are coming, and they're kind of like launching on their own network, right? So
yeah.
Robinhood have also even launched their own network, right? So so you're saying like on-chain data, so that you've got the crypto integration, you've got data analytics, data science, machine learning, and then you've got politics and finance and culture, and like basically every, like the way the name is so fitting, right? He calls it Kalshi, which means everything. And it's like, it's very, very disruptive. Not a new idea. It's been around for decades. But finally, sort of like, what made it possible? Well, it's because you've got a regulatory body, a regime that's like, okay, in favor of this. It's sort of like, we need this disruption because these markets, traditional finance is very inaccessible.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You touched upon a really important point, which is related to this A16Z article that was posted yesterday, which is TradFi doesn't want DeFi, it wants blockchain. And it really talks about all the different qualities that it wants to use from decentralized finance, but it's not going to look like direct adoption. This could be a whole other video. Let's just finish.
But like, I mean, regardless, blockchain. Like, you're using blockchain, you're using AI, you're using, all the data pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, okay. And that's going to be now accessible at your fingertips, right? 24/7. Whereas traditionally it's like, oh, you got to wait till, markets open and then when they close and not on the weekend. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
In this day and age.
No, and that's the thing. And this is why, to me, even though building something like Scanna is super hard, right? And it's not easy. I just don't see myself working on anything else, right? Like, I just feel like this is really the cutting edge of everything. And the things that we've been doing and learning, it's like with AI, these agentic workflows and crypto, and we're constantly like on the edge of everything in this vertical, in this industry, in this market, that even though it was hard, I just feel like it's worth it. I feel like in a couple of years, this is just going to pay off and it's going to compound.
This area, like we're heavily invested in right now. It keeps you
On your toes? Is that what you want to say?
keeps you curious, right? Because I mean, like the world is going to keep going.
More than curious.
Right? The
Dude.
world
It's
is
like
the world
every
is
day I'm on Twitter, it's like the thing that I learned last week is obsolete.
yeah.
You know, it's like every day you're
It's old
oh, fuck
news.
it. Yeah, it's like every day you have to adapt. So
There's something new every day, and that's why like we're scanning every day. Like, okay, what's in the latest research? What's the latest in terms of AI tooling, and so on, new data pipelines, etc. But it's like it keeps you curious because the world is not going to stop, and it's in chaos, right? And he talks about the sophistication. These are highly sophisticated, sort of like people who are like doing sophisticated things, and then they're trying to reduce it to say, well, this is gambling. So it kind of reminds me like the early days of crypto. They're saying that it's for criminals.
yeah.
Well, why do you think criminals use it? Because it bypasses you completely. Like it doesn't mean it's bad.
It doesn't mean it's bad, exactly. And it's like it is gambling, but at this like a part of it is gambling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing else to gain from it. Right?
But is it gambling when it's like a franchise? What's the average cost of a NFL franchise these days? Billions of dollars. What's the price of like say any of these franchises? Can you get in on the action? Can I be part? No, you need to be private equity and that kind of stuff. It's like, well, then how do I participate? Like I have a team and I support this team, right? But it's like, oh, buy the hats and whatever. It's like my team. I don't own shit, right? But now it's like you're like, okay, fine. Like if you don't let me own a piece of this, then I have a new market where I can monetize my information.
Yeah.
And so somebody who's like a sports fanatic really understands, because these players are basically a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
To draw in fans and to create a platform to sell more more
with
stuff.
the tokenization of everything. There's been so many scams, so many rug pulls, so many bad things that happen that kind of like made adoption, I think, a little slower or made it a little more difficult.
Lives to basically becoming good at this, and some people didn't, and they're spending time, whether they do it on the side as a hobby or not. There's a very drastic sort of range of skill and experiences that people are doing this. And yes, 2/3 of people on Kalshi lose money on, let's say, like a year of them
Yep.
participating. That number actually compares extremely well towards the alternatives. On the sportsbooks, it's 96%. Why? Because they ban any winners. It's a completely different model. You were asking the chair about the difference between this and gambling. We can get into that. The core difference is that you have an open marketplace that is fair and transparent versus a structure that is designed for people to lose. But the more interesting thing is that those numbers are 75 to 80% in active day trading of stocks and options, which goes back to the point of actually, if you look at these numbers relatively to other industries, those numbers look quite good.
Well, it's because the market, so I want to add here, it's because the markets are still inefficient. Traditional finance has not come in. But generally speaking, in financial markets and even in nature, pretty much everywhere, results are always Pareto distributed. The top 20% always eat the 80%. Like everywhere. It's like a rule in nature. So the fact that he's saying this is kind of like, I don't know if he's admitting it, but it's kind of highlighting like there are current market inefficiencies with prediction markets that can be exploited that allow unsophisticated players to profit still. That's kind of what he's saying. Well, I don't know if he's intending that, but through what he said, that's what it means. Saying like a third of people, that's like 30, 33 something percent when it should be less than 20%.
I just find the whole argument presented is that, oh, there's a few that make money and the majority don't make money as well. Like, okay, well, do your own research. Like, what the?
Yeah, like
who am I? Who am I to come and stop you from buying like seaweed?
It's literally
you want to buy seaweed? Go
impossible.
ahead, buy seaweed. Okay.
It's literally impossible for everyone to make money because the markets, from a game theory perspective, are a zero-sum
So
game. I mean,
yep.
people
So
can gamble now with
so when
options.
did we become a nanny state? It's like, oh, we have to
Yeah.
make sure everybody, you know, like, okay, now, Timmy, you know, you've had enough money. Now let's spread it around. And then you have someone that goes and says, okay, I've created a market and it's drawing a lot of capital. And it's like, no. There's not enough winners. Let's make sure that everybody wins. Like, since when? Since when?
No, they're mad. They're mad. They're not the winners. They're mad that their mutual funds, their big funds, are no longer getting the average Joe's money.
You gotta do research. And if you can't do the research, it's like, don't participate in these things.
Yeah, and
Like-
I genuinely believe that these markets are going to become more sophisticated naturally, like with time.
I mean, like, you don't even have to Google it. Sooner or later, you're just gonna ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is gonna give you the live data. And it's like, I still don't understand. It's like, okay, this means this. It's like, okay, should I invest? I may hallucinate. Go do your own research.
No, it's gonna say this is a dangerous prompt. I need to. It's like the that I had with 5.6. So
I guess there's no, like, well, what's the argument? It's like, okay, there is like
there is no
$65 billion in volume, and it's like, okay, there was one guy who did some inside trading, 100,000. Let's regulate the entire friggin' platforms out of the entire continent. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Leveling of playing field for people to basically have the opportunity, if they wanted to do research and they wanted to get good at something, to be able to do it, whether it's sports or economics or politics or anything.
So we're already starting to get close to running out of time. So I want to ask you about a big thing. This year, midterms coming up,
Yep.
Election integrity is going to be significant when it comes to Kalshi. And how are you ensuring that your markets aren't being manipulated for political purposes during this election season?
So pause.
So that's a very, very important topic.
So this is where some few people got caught, right? So because mainstream media is now saying, well, you know, we're turning into prediction markets as like get better polling data because it's backed by capital. But what's happening is some candidates are actually betting on themselves on these markets, moving the needle, and then pointing to mainstream, saying like, look, I'm actually really popular. Right. And so there's that kind of manipulation. So they're just concerned, sort of like, okay, how can you assure? But it's like, dude, like at the end of the day, it's not, Kalshi is not the ballot box, right? People will go and vote and the outcomes might be completely different and disconnected. And so when you do your research, like when we look at Scanna and we look at the data and we're like, that's a lie. There's no consensus. There's no evidence to back this market, right, or this candidate, and we can't find any supporting information. So there's a divergence, right? So again, it's sort of like you need to get more and more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says.
Topic, and we think about this a lot. I mean, you know, when we started the company, in 2018, and we spent 4 years getting regulated up front. And and when we say we're a pro-regulation company, we mean it. We didn't launch product until 4 years after we felt good about the regulatory structure and getting the right licensing and so on and so forth. The interesting thing about prediction markets is they're very transparent. You know, and that's, I think, both a blessing and a curse. When insider trading happened in the stock market, we often don't see it. We only hear about it after the regulator have brought an enforcement action. And the reality is, you know, there's a lot of data in a bunch of forensics experts that came out of the SEC tell you, like, we only catch something like 5% of insider trading cases. The beauty of prediction markets, well, the curse is everybody sees it, so I get asked about it every time I get on stage. The blessing is that everybody sees it, so that, you know, whenever something, you know, if you're committing fraud, if you're committing a crime, you're committing it in broad daylight. And
but user identities aren't public, though, on Kalshi.
Well, we KYC all of our users.
You know them, but the public doesn't.
Well, we KYC all of our users, and we have an obligation to report every single trade to the federal government every day. And all those trades are public. So, you know, for example, George Santos, which, by the way, it's usually always the usual suspects, but, you know, which helps. But
this is who we spoke about the other day? George Santos, the senator?
You know, he tried to, I think, manipulate one of the markets. And within seconds, it was flagged by our system, and we opened investigations.
Yeah.
And within minutes, we had like 100 whistleblower complaints from our users who basically look at the erroneous and weird trading patterns. But the transparency is a good thing. Polls are not very transparent. We don't know how the sampling was done. We don't know how it's done. When someone goes out in the news, either way, like whatever, someone on Twitter is basically putting out a tweet, they could say anything. And it's happening. It's been a few years where polarization is at an all-time high. You don't know what tweet to trust or not. When we have a market-based mechanism that is sitting next to all these other mechanisms that adds a data point that has quite a bit of transparency around it for people to check what's happening. And what we do is basically we're very stern about enforcing against any type of essentially suspicious patterns or unusual activity. We put out a paper this morning about a trader that basically put $1 million to potentially to move the price of Spencer Pratt winning the election, the mayor election at the time. We have not actually proven that this was actually in a truly attempted case of manipulation. But the more interesting thing is how resistant these markets are to manipulation. So the price moved when that $1 million was put up. And then guess how long that price movement or price distortion lasted? 9 seconds. It took 9 seconds for the market to basically self-adjust.
They called bullshit.
And this is the opportunity we have. We have this sort of dynamic, competitive, real-time market that can price things in real time as new information comes and self-corrects because there is this incentive to correct it. If the price moved from 20 to 30%, now all these smart traders have a 10% incentive to basically bring that price back, and that's what happens in an open, dynamic, competitive marketplace. And so my message to everyone is like, we are doing our best and we're self-regulating, and there's a bunch of regs, and then we go above and beyond to basically regulate, like banning members of Congress from participating in these types of markets, etc. But you don't have to just listen to the prediction markets. Prediction markets are an added data point that you're going to add to your repertoire of, a bunch of other sort of sources of information, and all of them are going to compete with each other for trust.
Yeah, so I mean, like today you got Kalshi, Polymarket, more people coming in, more data points, and it's like you add it as an extra data layer, a data point.
Yeah. Yeah, we spend most of our time on this. I'm gonna go have lunch. So
what else is there? I mean, just quickly, let's just speed through it there. Okay. Where are we at now?
Hermes agent, maker, news research, and talks.
Yeah.
New funding at 1.5. Love Hermes.
Healthy for the market, so more access to capital.
Call for participation, demonstrate MCP-based AI agent security with open identity standards.
Well, yesterday we saw that open standard, ADR, whatever, the one with Google. We want to take a look at that later.
MCP versus tool calls for AI agents. Which one is better?
Okay, doesn't matter.
Last one. Best MCP gateways for enterprise AI agents.
There's no best. Like we just swap. We don't care. We're not married to them, right?
Okay.
We're attached. France will win. They are favored. They are favored to win actually over. Oh no, actually Spain. Spain is favored to win. Not sure.
Spain beat France yesterday.
Yeah.
But am I showing the right day? July 15th.
Well, this one closed.
The API is down. The market.
They are APIs down. Okay, they're doing refactoring. Okay, then I guess we'll skip the hot markets today. I do want to show you that guy on X. This guy.
Boys, I'm the world's best sports bettor. Well, I lost $4 million, but we're on the road to make $4 million back, right? Yeah. The world's best sports bettor. Look at that, Don.
We do France 15.
We're gonna play $200,000 on France, on Rainbat. Guys, I'm the best. I never lost a bet in the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals just about to start right now.
He just lost $200,000.
It's conflicting messages too. Is like, I've never lost quarterfinal something. We're gonna make the $4 million back. He's already down $4 million. He bets to another. What is it? 200,000? Was it 200,000 here?
200,000.
Was it 200? 200,000 on France.
Yeah, but they have millions of dollars. He's with Steve Will Do It. He's a very popular gambling streamer. He's like a multi-millionaire.
That didn't go for so well. It didn't work out so well.
No, I was kind of shocked as well because I was looking at the numbers yesterday, and I saw, I think it was like everything was like kind of like 33-33, like France win, draw, and like Spain. It was all sort of equal, and then when Spain scored the first goal, it jumped up to over like 50%.
Yeah.
And the draw was still low. And I was like, because I was like, France is probably gonna win this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, the draw is underpriced because the second the 1-1 happens, the second France scores, that's going to just skyrocket, right? And we're not going to wait till resolution. We're going to just cash in the volatility. So I knew draw was underpriced and France was underpriced, but it's better to just bank on the volatility, focus on the draw. But then Spain scored again, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Not only the cost of using these models, but also like your intellectual property. So you're paying twice, as Satya said. This one's from A16. So they said humans are cheaper than tokens on average, but tokens are cheaper at scale. So they roughly sit around $80 per hour, right? So which is in line with a software engineer. And then, but the tail agents can cost $4 per hour or 7,000, depending on how you manage them, right? That all depends on your harness and the context and all that stuff. So why is that? It's because they are sometimes stuck doing 90% of the tokens are wasted on very inefficient loops. So something that I wanted to kind of dive deeper to see how we can actually really optimize our system so we can keep costs down if we want to continue using Fable.
I actually wanted to also talk about why this new loop engineering term is actually retarded. It's not correct. It's not the right term.
It's time for us to talk about loop engineering. I was hoping this would just blow over after a couple weeks. I was hoping a cracked engineer would call this stupid phrase what it really is, but no one has. So I'll do it myself. Forget about loop engineering. It's the wrong way to think about building valuable software with agents at scale consistently. Loop engineering is a terrible rebrand of the software development lifecycle,
which is what we started with, right? Like we started with the agentic development workflows or AI developer workflows. And loop engineering was like, it's almost like a subset.
Well, it sounds like,
the
agile development and you doing in iterative loops. I think that's maybe, I don't know who coined the term, where did it come from? I doubt it's Andre Karpathy, but he coined vibe coding, but loop engineering.
I don't know. Maybe Karpathy said something about loop. He maybe just mentioned.
Actually, he did. He created his repo like GitHub so that it's like, okay, go and iterate. So that's the idea in his LLM course. So these like improvements as you improve, you're using GitHub as a repository to be able to kind of loop through and loop in iterative succession. But anyway, interesting to see that video. Anyway, we'll see you after lunch.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.